Kyle Shanahan's just a play caller? How do you think this whole operation works? You lose Fred Warner, you lose Nick Bosa, you lose a lot of Brock. You have clinched a playoff berth with 3 games left to play. Is he a phenomenal head coach, yes or no? You're going to get way more yeses than nos. This bothers me. This has got to stop bothering me.
That's bothering me.
It's bothering me how many of you out there want to split the difference on the Kyle Shanahan thing.
I'm bugging me.
You don't get to split the difference. Kyle's a great play caller.
Oh boy.
He's not a phenomenal head coach. Just facts.
That's a stat.
By the way, we have really, as a society, got to do something about the way we use just facts. That is actually factually not a fact. Like, he's not a good coach. That's an opinion.
That's a stat.
No, it's factually an opinion because it is something with which I disagree. So by definition, it's not a fact.
Maybe I didn't do a little research on him too well.
When you talk about good and bad, unless you have a marker as what is good and what is bad, then it cannot actually be a stat or a fact.
Right. And also, I super double promise you that if we went around the league and asked everyone that question, is he a phenomenal head coach, yes or no, you're going to get way more yeses than nos. So you're allowed your opinion. I got no issue with that, but it's not just facts, and you're in the minority. I hope you know that, 510. You are in the minority. But I don't understand how and why so many of you do that. How can you have a year like this and only credit play calling? That's weird. That's super wild, and I don't understand that. How can you look at everything that has taken place over 8 years with all of these? I mean, what is it, 4 trips to the NFC title game, 2 trips to the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Now you're heading back to the playoffs while missing tons of your best players, some of them for the whole year. And I get the failures. You can point to those as well. If you want to do that, does that mean Andy Reid now sucks? Big failure this year.
Big time.
So, I don't understand why you want to go there or why some of your minds go there. Like, this is not the year to say that this is a bad take. Kyle Shanahan's just a play caller. How do you think this whole operation works?
Well, he stands there with his laminated play sheet, and he just says stuff, and then the quarterback gets it, and then everybody else does everything else. He just stands there. That's what happens.
We just went through whether you even want to start at the draft. You started talking about free agency and Mac Jones.
Yep.
Then there's the acquisitions, 4 of them through trade this year. If you go through the offseason into the regular season. All 3 of them have been some measure of successful, but all successful. Keon White, Sky Moore, Bryce Huff, Brian Robinson. None of those are bad moves. None of them. To the point where we don't, I guarantee you most fans don't even remember what they gave up because they gave up kind of bupkis for all of them. And late draft picks or whatever.
Right. Pick swaps. Exactly.
And things like that. Okay? You lose Fred Warner, you lose Nick Bosa, you lose a lot of Brock, you lose a lot of George, you lose a lot of Ricky, you lose Mykel Williams. You have clinched a playoff berth with 3 games left to play. How do you think this operation works? By the way, if you want to give a bunch of credit to Robert Saleh, why is Robert back? Why did Robert?
John Lynch and Jed York.
Okay.
He came back begrudgingly. Okay, if I have to work with Shanahan, I guess I will. Deep sigh. I'm being super sarcastic because I'm with you, and I don't understand where people would think about that at 10-4, and put aside all the injuries and schedule Sam, all the rest of it. You're 10-4 playing against other teams that are paid professionals, so you've had injuries, sure, and this year actually for me is more about what you've done in the clutch than it was even last year. Last year, you had 3 games that you blew in the clutch. And this year, those games, Tonjes, great catch, touchdown, you win, a punch-out against the Rams at the goal line,
Alfred Collins.
You win. And so you think about all the things that you've done this year, and you're 10-4, yeah, you could be 8-6, And if you were 8-6, we all would be thinking, well, the injuries. I get it.
Totally. I don't even think people would be coming down Kyle's road. But all the more reason to be like, how on earth can you feel this way now? Now, look, I know a lot of you do. I'm just here disagreeing with you. That's all. Next text, 408. Hey, Willard, that text is 100% correct. Kyle is by far the best OC and an average head coach. Again, I'll ask any of you. You're allowed to call the show. How do you think this operation works? I know all we see Kyle do is call plays.
Right.
What do you think is happening Monday through Saturday? You think it's a clown show? And then they just show up and win on Sunday? How is this working if he's such an average head coach? How the hell is that even possible? How did Saleh come back? How did Mac Jones get signed? How did Mac look like he looks?
Right.
How did Sam Darnold start looking like he looks? If you want to credit him for that, you don't have to. You can give O'Connell the credit.
How does he still have Kasarik and Johnny Holland and all the rest of these, Turner and all the rest of these assistant coaches? How do they all keep staying and working here?
How do all the players, by the way, continually want to go sell out to do the job? And no, not every human.
Right.
Some are in their cars speeding by the stadium. But so nobody pleases everybody. But the players, they go out for this. I guess I just wonder, what do y'all think a head coach does? If you're going to whittle Kyle down to being an OC, what is it that he does?
People don't know. And they have no idea.
And why would you look at the results of any of the other parts of the Niners and be like, see, that's where he's not a good coach? What is it you're pointing to? What is it in the Niners organization? And I know some of you are going to be like, the draft. Okay.
The overtime rules.
Okay.
Clock management.
Again, perfection doesn't exist. So, I'm not here telling you that he's never made a mistake, but in the inner workings of this entire operation, when that's your opinion, I truly am fascinated by this. If that's your opinion, what is it you're pointing to that would suggest he's just a good OC? But he's a mid-head coach. Okay, I'll ask you, based on what? What is it you see that takes you to that opinion?
I have no idea.
Literally flummoxed.
Yeah, and
I'm flabbergasted.
Even if you go back to last night with Baltimore, and there's reports that Derrick Henry and John Harbaugh got into it in the locker room, and Henry may or may not have thrown him to the ground in the locker room after the game. You don't hear any of those things about the Niners and about Shanahan. The only thing that we know from last year is that Devondre Campbell just quit in the middle of a game.
Yep.
And that's not a Shanahan thing, in my opinion. That's a Campbell thing.
Well, he's doing so well with the team that picked him up in the offseason, isn't he?
Who's that?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh would tell you best. Nobody.
That's right.
And by the way, if Aiyuk keeps this up, he's going to be next. He's going to leave a $30 million contract. He's already snipped that thing in half at least, and he's heading for an absolute nothing burger if he wants to keep this up. I mean, it's stunning. It's
stunning.
Absolutely. It's a total self-implosion.
And I didn't see the YouTube video, but apparently he was not going 100 miles an hour. He was going 100 kilometers per hour.
You can see it when you watch, and that it has been confirmed.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, you can see if he were
and
going.
This was him on Tasman, right? Which is right outside the stadium.
Correct. And if he were going over 100 miles an hour, the stadium would fly by a lot quicker than it is.
Okay.
But he's still speeding. He's definitely going a good solid 25 burger over the limit.
It might be 40 there. I don't know, but
it is. I think it's 40, and he's going about 65.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 100, it's 62, as we've discussed previously on this very show.
No, but it was north of 100.
Okay.
It was like 104 kilometers an hour.
I'm not even as fixated on the speed as I am the fact that he actually, and Aiyuk apparently videoed himself on YouTube going by, speeding by the stadium.
Correct.
The very fact that he would do that and post that tells me that, he's obviously feeling some kind of way about the Niners.
Completely. I think we've known that for a year and a half.
I know, but that to me is even more alarming now. What is the message? Look at me. I'm speeding by you. You're in my rear view. You're gone now. I'm here. I'm gone. You're there. the whole thing is weird.
Well, look, I mean, I think Kyle has handled that best, as have some other players who are like, look, he's a great player, but here's how I'd put it. It appears to me that Brandon is thinking about the Niners a lot more than the Niners are thinking about Brandon.
Yep.
And that's always what you can always tell what's going on in a relationship when one of them is living their life and the other one's all pissed off about it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest tell. The Niners did not drive by Brandon's house filming themselves.
No. And at 10-4, they probably won the breakup at this point, you know.
You think?
Yeah.